when we used to work at an hotel, we used to work on the bar and stuff, and the blokes in there, I was like, why is he not smiling? What's up with him? Just the way I am, you know what I mean? I'm not unhappy.
You've got one of the faces,
Yeah,
haven't you, mate?
so that's why obviously all the photos I'm with like fans and stuff, I'm always like got a face on me. So they're kind of like the sulking poet is to think what they're talking about.
Tom and Joe Blossoms, welcome. How are you doing?
Great, good to be here.
How long have you been waiting for this album to be out now?
It was written and recorded in 2020. So yeah, like 2 year and a half, 2 years nearly.
It's the longest we've sort of sat on something, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
We usually sort of like album, tour, record, release, do you know what I mean? That sort of,
sure, the cycle, yeah.
Yeah, but this time it was sort of...
Yeah, it's like forcing yourself not to write too many new songs because then you end up not bored of the other record, but your attention span goes to the next thing, doesn't it?
You don't like really going back on stuff either, do you?
No, I won't spend ages refining something I wrote like 6 months ago or anything like that. Of the moment, that's what it is, and then my attention goes elsewhere.
Yeah, the favourite's always a new one, isn't it?
Exactly. We left it for a bit last year. After, once you record it, you hammer it a bit, but then forced ourselves not really to not listen to it a lot. Mm-hmm. So now it's coming out and we've rehearsed all the songs. It feels fresh again.
Gives you a spark when you just play it again, like getting in the rehearsal room, just sort of getting right into it, and that's been fun.
Yeah, lovely. I tell you what, Ode to New York City, I love that.
Oh, do you like that? Yeah,
I really like that because
I like that. It's one of my favourites on the record. That.
Yeah, it's really great because I say this on air when I'm talking about it. It's like if you've been to New York, you get it.
Yeah,
you know the lyrics. You're there when you mention all the places like the station and like walking around. If you haven't been there, you know it from the films. It's one of those places, isn't it, that just comes alive. But
I love
that record.
Yeah, it's your favourite place, isn't it?
Yeah, I loved writing that song. Like it was quite easy to write because I absolutely love New York. So
easy for you to say.
All the places are like places I go and that me and Katie go. Like it's kind of like a bit of our time there because we used to go every year before lockdown.
Right.
Because she's always busy and I'm always busy. So January was like always a time to go to New York because it was like the time we had off.
Yeah,
so we'd always be like like the Sinatra bar and all that kind of stuff. It's like
it's dead accurate as well, isn't it? The song.
Yeah.
That's your level, that.
It's quite geographically.
That's what I'm saying.
It walks you through in like order.
Could be the new walking tour guide. Just listen to that.
Listen to the tune and walk around.
Pause it. Right, next one.
Exactly. You must have played New York a few times. Have you got a favourite venue to play out there?
I love there's a little one. I think it's in Brooklyn. Baby's All Right.
That was good in Brooklyn. Yeah.
I love that little venue.
We played another one in Brooklyn called Elsewhere. We've not played in Manhattan.
Yeah, we've not.
I think we're playing in Manhattan when we go this year.
Sweet.
Playing somewhere called... I've always wanted to play Bowery Ballroom.
Yeah.
Because it's off the Bowery, and obviously I mentioned that in the song, and obviously the history of the Bowery, like Blondie and Talking Heads and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm a bit of a nerd for all that kind of thing.
Well, now you've got to play it to make the song complete.
Exactly, yeah. So
haven't you?
I think when we go and do the next one, which is actually in Manhattan, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Merch opportunity as well. Ode to NYC t-shirts just at New York show. It's got to be done.
Think of that. Don't get a percentage.
That's fine. Don't get a percentage in many places, do you? It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. There's another track on it called The Sulking Poet. Is this right? Now, this is, I read that you saw it on a fan forum, that you...
Yeah, I sent it
to me.
I saw it on like an Instagram account, like a fan one.
It's an Instagram account called Odes to Ogden. Just my surname.
He just said it in the thing he's saying, the sulking poet.
No, he said to celebrate the beauty of the sulking poet.
When we were younger, obviously Tom always wrote tunes before we were in a band together, and I used to have in my bio on Facebook, Tom Ogden is a poet. It's like a joke. I mean, it's not a joke, is it, anymore?
Well, it's not more poet.
More of a poet than me. That makes you feel any better. And then, so I saw it and thought it was just funny. Sent it to Tom, and Tom was like, I like that.
I've often been told, like when we used to work at an hotel, like we used to work on the bar and stuff, and the blokes in there, I was like, why is he not smiling? What's up with him? Just the way I am, you know what I mean? I'm not unhappy.
You've got one of the faces, haven't you, mate?
So that's why obviously all the photos I'm with like fans and stuff, I'm always like got a face on me. So they're kind of like the sulking poet is to think what they're talking about. And I thought it was funny. And I'm always looking for song titles to put in my phone, so then when I go and write tunes, it's kind of I've got things to draw from, and that was just one of them, and I just managed to get it into that tune.
And it locks in. I remember a very awkward moment when Young Fathers won the Mercury Music Prize, and they were just stoic. They won it holding it. It was like, give us a smile from the sun. No, nothing.
It's not happening.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the whole record, it sounds so great. I think every time you're putting something out, the sound's just getting more and more you every single time. You've got such a fingerprint now to it. Again, working with James Skelly, of course, you've got the dream team.
Yeah.
Is that gonna continue? Because I say this on there, it's like, how can you walk away from such a...
I know, that's exactly
like the
what
pressure,
it is.
right?
And we work, like, I speak to James all the time, you know.
Yeah.
So when I'm writing songs, because none of the rest of the lads write songs in the band, I don't really have anyone to kind of for advice and like talk to about stuff. So I'll speak to James often before the lads hear some of the songs, if you know what I mean. So he's always going to be involved on some level, I would say, even if he didn't produce it. But we've toyed with the idea in the past. And he, at one point, he was like, you should go and work with someone else, you know, try it.
Yeah.
And then we ended up doing Your Girlfriend with him and was like, well, this is great. Let's just carry on doing this again.
Yeah. It'll probably just work out exactly the same. Where we just
Beatles
go
always
with
worked with George Martin, didn't
exactly.
they? So
if you went off to someone else, you'll look at each other and go, James wouldn't have done that.
yeah, it's not the same.
But even what you said about the album, like, it was sort of Jay's idea, do you know what I mean, to make it into like a bit more of like
he
themes through it and things. Do you know what I mean? Because we've never done that, but we'd always just like,
he
Tom's
pushed
always
me a
wrote
lot
tunes,
in the lockdown in terms of sending me songs right like this, you know, this album needs to be different because it's your fourth one. And once I kind of got a few, like the Sulking Poet and Ribbon Around the Bomb, it was like quite like a bit like a film sort of thing. And
talk us through the concept so people watching the video and listening to this interview can...
Well, it's not full on concept, it's more like a theme like throughout the album.
Yeah.
Obviously the writer's kind of like the central song on it right in the middle of the album. All the songs are kind of from the writer's point of view, which is me.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like...
Yeah, I think you listen to it and you pick up on certain themes and you sort of, you know what I mean, you go off your own sort of tangent. You know, it's not like The Who or something, you know, where it's like literally like this is what the album is about.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like it is more like you can sort of take your own take on it, but there definitely is like strong themes.
Yeah, it's like all from one point of view.
Yeah.
In the past, I've obviously wrote about like relationships and being in love, being out of love, and then I made a conscious effort to try and not write as much about that this time and dig a little deeper and be a bit more retrospective. And I think lockdown kind of caused that because we'd never really stopped for like 6 years, whatever it was. So taking stock and being like, how did we get here? We achieved quite a lot quite young, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of like, so that's kind of what the record's about.
Yeah, okay. I think many bands did do that in lockdown.
Yeah.
Like when I was chatting to Yanis from Foals, and he was like, we had to really sit down and think, why did we start this and what are we trying to achieve? And they were like, we were a house party band. Now I was like, now you're a house party band on the main stage, basically. So they're trying to bring. So I think lots of people did have that moment, didn't they? Of
definitely.
What do we want to do next?
It is interesting, and I suppose even just like it's something you don't really think of when you first start and getting momentum. You don't really think, oh, in a few albums we're gonna have to change a little thing. Do you know what I mean? Even from listening to albums and like for example like Arctic Monkeys, do you know what I mean? Like I get like why, do you know what I mean? Like why you change it up and things like that.
That was a lovely link from the Arctic Monkeys into my next point, which was that you worked with the video director, right? Who worked with them on Tranquility Base
He was
Hotel.
a creative director on Tranquility Base Hotel. So I think he like overseen it, and like obviously Alex did all the
building.
He built that thing which is like the
hotel
out of card, wasn't it?
The
card.
structure. Yeah.
But then I think Edwin like pulled it all together and oversaw it, and obviously he worked with James Skelly and the Coral on their Coral Island record, and James has said he's a really cool / wacky guy to work with, and I think you'd benefit from it. So I spoke to Edwin quite a lot throughout the process because we kind of knew we wanted to do something different and kind of hand over the reins in terms of visually, because we're quite hands-on.
I'd say more control freaks.
Do you know what I mean?
Whenever we do anything like that, we'd always be like, right, we want to do this like this, and I think sometimes we either take a bit too much on, and then it sort of get carried away, and then just end up sort of looking the same vibe. Do you know what I mean? It would never really.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think we've ever before this album nailed something aesthetically as much as we want to. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like we'd do like a Boss album cover, and then it'd be like, right, you need a poster for this tour in like 2 weeks, and we're like, oh, look, just put that together. And it's not from like the same world. Whereas this one, it was like from the start we said, right. So Edwin came up with the idea of having the wood engravings on the cover. Mm-hmm. So he sent him the album, and I just said, well, let me know what you think and what comes to mind. I told him we wanted it to be like really simple, and the fact we didn't want to be on it because we've been on all the other ones.
And because we're getting older.
Well,
I hear you.
I still get ideas sometimes.
Yeah,
so
no, you're
I ain't got
all right.
facial hair, so it's...
Could have just been you then, the album cover.
Well, yeah. Imagine. But then he immediately came back and said, oh, I'm imagining wood engravings. So he sent us a few references. We were like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. And then it snowballed from there, and he was like, right, we'll get the wood engravers, she'll do an alphabet, so then you'll use the text on all the posters and basically create this world then around the album, which we were like, yeah, that's what we want to do. And,
nice.
And it was nice handing the reins over a little bit, because sometimes 5 of us trying to agree on the same vision, it can sometimes be too many cooks spoil the broth. So it's nice to just go, do your thing.
Yeah.
Having someone like that was really good. It was really
Yeah,
helpful to just sort of go, right. And even just push us to places we never really would be probably a bit scared to go to. We did like a film around
Yeah,
it
there's like
all.
a film around the album, which is like all the music videos come from the film. We kind of loosely came up with the idea,
Yeah.
us, and then he basically tore it apart in a good way though. Like it was loose, it has a loose narrative, but he's just made it so like weird and out there, but it's different, and
Sweet,
sometimes different's good, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. You've got loads of shows, haven't you? You're playing. I love Truck. I really
Yeah,
love
we've done
it.
that in
Truck
like
Fest,
2016.
Yeah,
It's
it's
good
so
fest,
much
though.
fun. Why not? And
Yeah, I love Why Not.
I know you're on tour with the Killers, right?
Yeah. Killers, Glastonbury.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Killers show's going to be great.
Yeah, I
We
can't
were
wait
meant
for
to do
them.
them like 2 years ago, so
Yeah, that'd
nice
be really
to finally
fun.
do them.
I've been sitting on them. That's been one of the things where it's like, oh, can't wait. And it's like, oh my God. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I just want to, like,
totally.
come on.
Yeah.
You can see the energy. It's nice to be back on the road and promoting and the record's out finally.
I know.
Yeah, you
It's
can.
class. I can't wait.
Yeah, new set list and everything.
That's the hardest
Take
thing.
out.
We've like got some warm-up gigs like around this album, and it's just like, how do you pick from like
1
4
to 3.
albums?
That
Yeah.
cream. What are you gonna do?
3 hour sets.
Yeah,
It's a nice problem to have, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
yeah,
You
totally.
wrote too many singles, Tom.
Yeah,
He's wincing there.
it's
Winching.
lovely to have. Yeah, it's winching. It is lovely to have you back, though. Thanks for coming in.
No,
Thanks
nice
for
to be
having
here.
us.
Of course, we'll continue to support on air as well. Blossoms, thank you so much.
Thank you.